Whispers of Hope, a young girl's fight for love and belonging. The sun was setting over the small African village of Rafia. The sky turned orange and pink, and the birds flew back to their nests. But for 12-year-old Amina, there was no peace. She sat outside her stepmother's hut, her small hands bruised from the day's work. Her stepmother, Mama Nia, had shouted at her again, calling her useless and lazy. Amina wiped her tears and whispered to herself, "One day, things will be better." Amina's mother had passed away 4 years ago, and father had married a new wife, Mama Nia. And since then, Amina's life has become a nightmare. Mama Nia made her do all the chores, fetching water, cleaning the hut, cooking, washing dishes, washing clothes with her hands, and looking after her younger stepbrother, Kofi. Kofi is 3 years old, but no matter how hard Amina worked, Mama Nia was never happy. She would beat Amina with a stick or refuse to give her food. Amina's only comfort was the memory of her mother, who had died when she was just 8 years old. She would dream of her mother's gentle voice and warm smile. Long before Mama Nia became Amina's stepmother, she was a young woman named Nia, full of dreams and laughter. She grew up in a small village not far from Rafia, the youngest of 5 children. Her family was poor, but they were close-knit and happy. Nia was known for her bright smile and her love of dancing. She would often sneak away to the river to sing and dance under the moonlight, dreaming of a life filled with love and joy. But life had other plans for Nia. When she was just 16, her village was struck by a terrible drought. Crops failed, animals died, and the once bustling village became a place of despair. Nia's family struggled to survive. Her father, a proud man, refused to ask for help from neighboring villages. One by one, her siblings left to find work in the city, leaving Nia behind to care for her aging parents. The weight of responsibility crushed her spirit. She no longer danced by the river. Her laughter faded. Then came the final blow. Nia's mother fell ill, and without money for medicine, she passed away. Her father, heartbroken and ashamed, took his own life shortly after. Nia was left alone, with nothing but the memory of her family's suffering. She felt abandoned by the world, and her heart began to harden. Nia moved to Rafia, hoping for a fresh start. There she met Amina's father, a kind and gentle man who saw the pain in her eyes and wanted to help her heal. For a while, Nia allowed herself to hope again. She married him and gave birth to a son, Kofi. But deep down, she carried the scars of her past. She feared losing everything again, and that fear turned into anger. When Amina's father died unexpectedly, Nia's world shattered once more. She blamed everyone, herself, the village, even Amina. She saw Amina as a reminder of her husband's first wife, a woman she had always felt jealous of. Nia's bitterness grew, and she took her pain out on the young girl. In her mind, if she could make Amina suffer, she might feel some control over her own life. But the more she hurt Amina, the emptier she felt. Nia's cruelty was not born out of evil, but out of deep, unhealed wounds. She had once been a girl full of hope, but life had broken her. Without love or support, she became a shadow of her former self. A woman who could only give pain because it was all she had ever known. One evening, after a long day of work, Amina sat by the river, staring at her reflection in the water. She felt so alone. Just then, she heard a soft voice. "Why are you crying, child?" Amina looked up and saw an old woman with kind eyes. It was Mama Kola, the village healer. Mama Kola sat beside Amina and listened to her story. Tears filled the old woman's eyes as she heard about Amina's suffering. "You are stronger than you think, my child," Mama Kola said. "Sometimes the hardest battles make us the bravest warriors." She handed Amina a small wooden necklace. "This is a symbol of hope. Wear it close to your heart and never let anyone take away your light." The next day, Mama Nia was angrier than ever. She accused Amina of stealing food and beat her until she fell to the ground. But this time, Amina didn't cry. She held on to the wooden necklace and whispered, "I am strong. I am brave." That night, she decided she couldn't stay in the hut anymore. She packed a small bag with a piece of bread in a water gourd and ran away into the dark forest.